Hey everyone, Crafty Smith here, and today I am starting my new series, which is Gotta Stitch 'em All, which I will be attempting to sew all 151 original Pokemon. With this series, I'm going to have a few little rules. One, everything has to be in the hoop, or ITH, which a lot of you may have seen some of my videos with the title ITH. It means in the hoop, or made with the embroidery machine only. Then I hand sew all the pieces together. I will not be converting my embroidery machine back into a sewing machine for any of this. Two, I'm not going to care about sizes. So it's very possible that the Pikachu will be much larger than a Venusaur. So we're not gonna do it to scale because that's gonna be next to impossible. My Pikachu would have to be itty bitty versus Venusaur would be like really big. So size does not matter. Now I will do my best to do some of these in the 4x4 hoop so that more people would be able to make these designs. 3, I will be making these every other week, or I will try my best to get these out every other week. Now that means that there might be a gap week where I won't be posting a video because maybe the current Pokemon project is just a little more than I anticipated. Maybe with more detail, more hand sewing, more work, especially with like digitizing. So I may have a gap week of posting videos. Otherwise, it might just be a smaller single piece keychain or just a smaller design. Depending on some of the Pokemon, I might do multiple Pokemon in one week just to kind of get through them, and maybe they may not be as popular as others, or they just kind of go hand in hand with other Pokemon. Now with that, the first week, gotta do number 25, Pikachu. I'm actually quite excited to make my own design for Pikachu because Pikachu, though it's not my favorite Pokemon, it's always had a dear place in my heart. If you see back there, I have a Pikachu that I got for my 8th or 9th birthday, and I was over the moon. Like, my mom told me I had the choice between either a helicopter ride or getting the Pikachu. And, well, clearly I chose the Pikachu. And with that, let's get started. I sketched out my design and brought it over to Procreate, where I refined it. Once that, I sent it over to my embroidery program. I will be making this on a 6x10 hoop. Sometimes I use the auto digitizing, but when details are so small, I just trace them out myself. This outer line on the tail and ears are applique stitch lines. I then place a satin stitch line over the part that will be seen. Now I know that Pikachu's ear tips are black, but I just spaced it while I was digitizing, and I fixed this later. With Pikachu's face, I will be auto-digitizing, and the reason he has blue eye shines right now is because sometimes if the background is white, it will delete everything else that is white too. Here's where I realize my mistake and make his tips black. I also add the basting square for the top stabilizer. I'm just curious, but anyone else have the mandala effect that remembers Pikachu having a black tipped tail? I don't, but my husband does. I went to my local quilt shop and picked up 12 inches of minky and cut it to fit. This is not how I normally cut fabric. It was quite awkward. I spray on the basting spray and lay it down. I had so many issues with this first hoop, and they were entirely my fault. I always check to make sure the applique fabric is in range, and I didn't give myself enough room with this black piece, making it stitch a little bit over the edge. My 5-year-old boy loves to watch the embroidery. It probably could have still worked, but I didn't want to risk it, so I unpicked it and did it again. You may have noticed in some of the embroidery scenes, I am wearing green tools on my fingers. And I've never used these before, and I got too close to the needle and I sewed right into it. Fortunately, it did not break my needle. Unfortunately, that footage didn't get recorded. More on that later. My other issue was my other black tip was sewn upside down. I can tell that when I rub against it, it doesn't lay the same way as the yellow fabric. I could have left it yet again, but it wouldn't match the other ear, so I redid it too. My little darling 11-month-old climbed up onto my chair without me noticing, and she's being curious. Now that I got the right way fabric down, we can continue. So I realized that I must have hit the record button, or I thought I hit the record button, but I hit the picture button, and I guess I didn't record a lot of the embroidery portion of my project, so there's only a little bit. As you can see, the mouth is already sewn, but regardless, there is an amazing feeling watching the face come together so well, like its personality is already poking through. I chose brown eyes, but what color eyes would you like to see on Pikachu? Do any of you remember the episode of Pokemon with the blue-eyed Pikachu? Now enjoy some ASMR. Be right back. cut a hole where Pikachu's head goes so that it can be hidden when the head is sewn on. My goal is to hide all remnants of the ladder stitch. I usually have a tool for turning out fabric, but I couldn't find it, so a pen will have to do for now. Here is a little preview of what it will look like complete. With the body, I fill it with poly pellets to give it a weighted, floppy body. I use the embroidery floss to ladder stitch the hole closed. I just realized that Pikachu's body looks like a golden tooth. I put a small amount of stuffing in the feet and ladder stitch it around twice at the bottom of the nub. With the tail, I added poly pellets to the end and filled the rest up with mochi stuffing. Close it off and sew it down twice round. If any of you are wondering what mochi stuffing is, it's what Squishmallows have inside. I stuff the head with all the mochi stuffing and close it up. I stuff the ears too and do a squish test to make sure that they are even. Then I stitch it down to Pikachu's head. And all that's left to do is to connect the head to the body. Once it was complete, I realized I put way too many poly pellets into the body and made a small slit in the back neck area to pour out some poly pellets. When I was happy with it, I stitched it closed. You honestly can't even tell. And there we go! Pikachu's done! I love the way it feels. I love how soft it is, and I'm so glad that I reduced the amount of poly pellets because now he can be my little shoulder companion just like Ash Ketchum. And what's nice is that, like I said, it's very soft. Because it is triple stitched, it will not come apart as easily. And I also double sewed or wrapped around the ears twice and wrapped around the head twice. So hopefully with that, it will not come apart. Preferably these are for display purposes, but I've had experiences with my kids playing with my own plushies and none of them have come apart yet. So I think that's a pretty good win. If you enjoy my videos, please like and subscribe, share to your friends, and I'll see you in the next video.